apologies in this video, it's just going to be like my foot, so it's not exactly the most entertaining thing, but this is, well, it's a video about toe conditioning in the martial arts. I remember one teacher said to me, he was talking about conditioning, he said you can even condition your toes if you're mental. Because, you know, normally toes, I mean, from my perspective, like from a karate thing, toes, you once you've broken a few toes, you know, just to actually scrunch them right up, say when delivering a roundhouse, or conversely pull them right back if coming in with, you know, kicking with the ball of the foot here. So, you know, either way you want to get them out of the way. That said, particularly, I mean, back in the old days of Okinawan karate, toes were actually used as there's a toe kick called a tsumasaki geri. Keri in Japanese is kick, like kingeri, groin kick. But tsumasaki geri, and it was when they break it down, I can't even do it. I don't have I can't move my toes up like they need to. It's sort of, you scrunch up, it's primarily with the big toe, and you scrunch up the other two toes beside it to sort of give it support, and then you just kick in with that toe, or with those three. The idea being that you're putting you know, the whole kick, so a tremendous amount of force is going into a really narrow point. Like, you know, if you're wearing a shoe typically, or, you know, say a sort of a smart shoe, as it were, typically comes to a sort of point. So if you kick with that point and all the force goes into that, it's like more, you know, more concentrated. So that's the idea, and that is just, there's really little, what's the word, finesse with it. I mean, it's just, you just have to condition the toe, because, you know, unconditioned toes are just going to break and stuff. So, I mean, there's videos on YouTube of some, I should not say some, a very, very skilled, hard, old Okinawan karate sensei. I just can't remember his name right now, but he's just awesome. Does these displays. It's like, you know, chopping baseball bats and all that sort of thing, and proper baseball bats, not the fake ones they use. But he's just doing that. And I mean, in my own humble opinion, I think it's worth doing to an extent. You can even come on just the top, just to get them used, even if you're not going to, you know, practice tsumasaki geri, just to get them used to sort of being struck a bit and condition them a bit. But particularly the big toe there, that's the one that takes the knock if you're going to do that kick, as I say. And in the video, in like tutorials I've seen, they're very particular about the diagram of how the two toes there, they support the big toe, they all scrunch up together. But when I've seen the kick performed by like the old Okinawan guys, there's no, like I say, there's no finesse. They just slam the big toe in, basically. It's so conditioned by then, they don't really, you know, care. And it just goes into, you know, various soft parts of the body, and like I say, a whole lot of force, like, generated by the entire leg. You've got correct kicking technique going into a very narrow point, which is like, you know, the big toe, basically. So that's kind of toe conditioning. I mean, as I say myself, I mean, my boring thing I always say is I like the Bruce Lee thing: condition every part of your body. So I mean, you know, it's part of just the daily conditioning thing. Just sort of do that. Just keep the toes. So be really careful, obviously, always. The disclaimer, but sort of what can I say? Make the toes rigid, as it were, like you're gonna, you know, like with your hand when you go to deliver a strike. Sort of lock up the fingers, lock up the hand. Here, lock up the foot. And that just gets the toes a bit used to taking some force. But obviously, if you do make a mistake when delivering like a really hard kick to like a solid surface, then you probably will break toes. But that's the name of the game, really, isn't it? All right, cheers.